Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds. And it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. And balancing these macros correctly is the key. That's what we talk about WarriorBabe. We teach women how to go from not understanding, like maybe you guys have no idea what macronutrients are. We meet the client where they're at. We take them on the journey of, okay, cool, you don't know what macronutrients are? Well, you're going to learn what macronutrients are. And we're going to take the time that you work with one of our coaches for you to grasp the understanding of macronutrients and how they effectively work into your plan. And this is where a coach's expertise is freaking invaluable. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the Macro Hour, or if this is one of your first episodes, hey, welcome to the show with Nikki Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I'm your host, Nikki Stott, and welcome to today's episode number 165, where today I want to dive into a topic that I know so many of you can relate to. I can't tell you how many times I have heard this from me personally coaching hundreds and thousands of clients, to our coaches coaching hundreds and thousands of clients, to our transformation team talking to women on a daily basis, saying that they struggle with this specific concept: losing the last 5 to 10 pounds, right? We've all been there. You've been there. I've been there. Even our coaches have been there. Like our whole team has been there, right? You can totally resonate with this. Like you are making incredible progress along your journey, wherever you may be at, right? Maybe you're a couple months in, you're a couple years in, but you still like you're struggling to lose those last pounds, and you feel like that you've been like stuck in a plateau, right? But you feel like you've been eating clean, you've been crushing your workouts, and yet the scale refuses to budge. It refuses to move, and it can be very frustrating. But don't worry, guys. Today, I want to, and before I even continue on, like I want you guys to understand the scale does not tell you the full story. So even though, you're struggling to lose the last 5 to 10 pounds, the thing that's going to tell you the full story of your fitness journey is progress photos. You taking the before and the after. And I've talked about this many times throughout episodes of the podcast, but the scale is just telling you it's just one portion of your story, right? It's not telling you the full blown story of you, ultimately changing your body composition, which is a lot to unpack. But here on this episode, we're going to unpack why this happens and how working with a coach can be an absolute freaking game changer in helping you break through this plateau. I can't tell you how many times when I was first starting out in my fitness journey, before I even got and hired a coach, that I was trying these things over and over and over again, trying so many different things, right? Maybe you guys have done the same thing. Maybe you guys have been doing the same thing for so long. And I remember getting stuck at that 5 pound mark or 10 pound mark, and it would just fluctuate. And I wasn't really seeing much change in my body composition. And I was wanting to, bang my head up against the wall. And until I actually started working, and this was just me trying to figure it out, like trying to guess or trying to do things that were online, like following Pinterest workouts or Pinterest protocols of nutrition, or doing keto, or doing all the other fad diets that are out there, until I actually got and hired a professional that knew what they were doing, that had the insight, that had the knowledge, that had the education, that I was able to break through that whole 5 to 10 pound mark, and also not just look skinny fat, but look more toned, ripped, and build more muscle. So let's just start by talking about why those last few pounds are often the hardest to lose in your fitness journey. When you first start your fitness journey, your body responds so freaking quickly to the changes in your diet and to the changes in the exercise routine that you're doing. Like it can, if you're 50 pounds overweight, you just starting to eat right and starting to move your body, that's going to, or vice versa. You're eating right and not moving your body, or you're moving your body and, maybe you're choosing to eat better. You are going to see your body change, and you're going to see your body change pretty quickly. But for those of you guys that have already done that and are already past that part of your journey, as you get leaner, your body becomes more efficient. And I've talked about this, I forget what episode it was, but it was a really good episode. I talk about calories with cardio and I talk about calories with strength training. But anyway, as you get more leaner, I don't remember what episode it is. Definitely, it's honestly so worth going through all the episodes and trying to find that. But as you get leaner, as you lose more body fat, as you lose more weight, your body becomes more efficient, meaning it burns fewer calories for the same activities. And this is where the famous M word comes into play. Your metabolism comes into play. If you don't know what metabolism is, it's essentially the process by which your body converts what you eat and drink into energy. And as you lose weight, as you lose body fat, as you're building more muscle, your metabolism slows down because your body requires less energy to sustain itself. That's a completely natural, completely biological response designed to prevent starvation during times of food scarcity. So to say that in a little bit of layman terms, as you are losing weight, you're losing pounds, you're losing inches, your metabolism recognizes this and it slows down because your body now requires less energy to sustain itself. It doesn't require the same energy that it did to sustain itself when you were 50 pounds overweight. And it's a completely normal process. And it's just meant to, like, as you continue to lose more weight, you may feel like you're not as hungry. Like you've already gone through, like, I'm trying to just paint the tears almost as what you may be going through in your journey. You've already experienced the hunger. You've already experienced the cues kicking in. And like, you've already lost the weight, right? So as you lose more of that weight, your metabolism starts to slow down. And it's just designed to prevent you from being hungry all the time and going into starvation mode. But there's so much more to it. And so I just tried to break that down for you guys to understand. And I want to break it down even further, but I want to keep it, as high level as I can so that you can stay with me and understand what is happening in your body when, this process is going on. So when you're trying to shed those last few pounds, think about it like this, like homeostasis, right? Your body has a homeostatic mechanism that kicks in, and this is your body's way of maintaining its balance, which it gets incredibly efficient at. Your body perceives those last pounds as a threat to the balance, and it holds on to them as a reserve. So as you're losing the weight, this homeostasis part of your body, this mechanism kicks in, and it wants your body to maintain balance, right? Because, it'll try and recognize it. It will recognize that your body's using less energy to sustain itself. And it's going to put you into, it prevents you from going into starvation mode. And it looks at those last few pounds as like, oh, this is the reserve that I have to hold on to this body because I need to maintain the balance to keep homeostasis within all of the systems, all of the cells. And like, you get what I'm saying? And that, right? Think of it like this. Your body is adapting to what you are doing. And that can be incredibly frustrating. You can feel it. You can know that you're doing everything right. You're counting your macros, you're sticking to your workout plan, and yet nothing is changing. And it's a common experience that so many people go through and get completely discouraged and then revert back to all of the old habits because you're like, I just can't lose the last 5 to 10 pounds. But here's the thing, hitting a plateau, you guys, and hitting this part of your journey is not a sign that you need to give up. It's a sign that, like I just said, your body is adapting to what you are doing. And this adaptation is actually a really, 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 really good freaking thing because it means your body is becoming more efficient. As I said earlier, when you get leaner, your body becomes more efficient, meaning it burns fewer calories for the same activities. Have you ever guys gone into a strength training workout? And this is what I did and broke it down to that podcast before, is you recognize that you are burning like 250 calories from whatever Apple Watch that you're wearing. And you just did a strength training exercise, but like it's only showing that what you burnt in the moment. As you get leaner, your body becomes way more efficient at this, and it recognizes that it needs to burn fewer calories for the same strength training activities that you are doing. However, don't just take that for face value, because you're burning calories even after that workout all throughout the day when you're sitting down, eating and sleeping, because of the active tissue that the muscle tissue is. It doesn't stop burning. It's always active, it's always revving, so it's always working through these things, but you'll recognize that you get more efficient through whatever protocols you're doing when it comes to working out. So while that can be a frustrating point when you're trying to get to the last 5 to 10 pounds, whenever somebody gets to this point, I'm always like, hey, okay, right, we recognize that we're here. We recognize that we're in a plateau. We just recognize it for what it is. We bring reality into the situation. Okay, this is what you're experiencing here, and this is why this is happening. This is what's happening internally into your body. Your body is adapting to what we've been doing. It's a great thing because your body's becoming more efficient. Now we just need to either ride it out, right? Because you're gonna get over this wave. A lot of people call it like a whoosh, or we're gonna get past it. You don't need to change anything. One, reasoning. You don't need to change anything. You're gonna eventually break through the plateau. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 4 weeks, it could be time that it takes to break through the plateau doing the same things. Or the other avenue that I would go is we need to turn up some type of intensity somewhere to stimulate, to just challenge the body a little bit more. But this is where I want to get into conversations with the coach. This is why it's so important at this stage for so many reasons. First, a coach can provide an objective perspective. I talked about this in previous episodes of what are the benefits of working with a coach. When you're in the thick of it, it can be so hard to see the forest for the trees. And a coach can look at your diet and exercise routine with fresh eyes and pinpoint areas that might need tweaking. And this could be anything from adjusting your macronutrient ratios to changing up your workout routine, right? Like what I just said before, diving into this next part of the podcast, we're talking about a coach. But whenever I was working with clients, it was like, oh, okay. Like when I first came in, they were the ones that needed to lose the 5 to 10 pounds. I was looking at what they were doing. I was like, how long were you doing this? Have you changed anything? Why haven't you changed anything? How consistent are you with the routine? Right? I would get down to the nitty gritty of it. And I was offering an objective perspective. I was like, okay, so, we're here at this particular area of your journey. Maybe we just need to play around with the energy expenditure coming from the fats and carbs and just tweak that a little bit. Or we need to up 5 minutes to your cardio routine on a weekly basis. Or we need to increase the reps or the sets or do some more type of progressive overload, right? And speaking of macronutrients, right, you guys, if anybody is new to this podcast and you're just diving into one of these episodes for the first time and you have no idea what macros are, let me just dive a little bit deeper into their role. Macronutrients, or what we call macros in this space, and this is called the macro hour. So I always try and reference as much as I can to macronutrients in every single episode because it's science, and until proven otherwise, macros are the way to go when you're trying to lose body fat and to build more muscle. But they're the nutrients that your body needs in large amounts, and that's protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Each one of those plays a crucial role in your body's functioning and in your fitness progress. Carbs play a huge role in you building muscle if you want to be more toned. Protein plays a huge role in repairing and recovering those muscles. Fats play a huge role in the hormonal aspect of, the hormones working for you instead of against you when you're trying to build more muscle, right? I'll dive in a little bit deeper. Protein is extremely essential for muscle growth and repair. When you're strength training, you're creating these tiny micro tears in your muscle fibers, and protein helps to repair those tears, leading to muscle growth. I always say this, you're not building muscle in the gym, you're breaking down the muscle in the gym, and you're building it with the protein, the fats, and the carbs that you eat for the next 24 to 48 hours. The more muscle that you have means a higher resting metabolic rate, which means you burn more calories even when you're not working out. This is what I mentioned earlier with not getting so attached to what your fitness gadget is telling you with how many calories that you've burned, because me specifically, I may only burn 200, 250 calories on my Apple Watch during an upper body workout. But because I have more muscle mass on my body, it means I have a higher resting metabolic rate, meaning my BMR is way higher, my RMR is way higher, and that means that I am burning more calories even when I'm not working out. As I'm sitting here, I'm burning calories. When I'm sleeping, I'm burning calories, right? So that was protein. Carbohydrates are your body's primary source of energy. They fuel your workouts. They help you replenish glycogen stores in your muscles. And then you need them in order. I talked about this in one of the other episodes. Think about it like what carbohydrates do, they break down into glycogen, and that glycogen is stored in your muscles. And the more glycogen that you have in your muscles, the more powerful you're going to be in the workouts. And the more powerful that you're going to be in the workouts, the more muscle mass that you're breaking down. And then what you eat afterwards, you're building it up with what you eat. Right. And so I think about Super Mario Bro, right? When he goes from a small small Mario to a big Mario when he hits a mushroom. Think about that same concept when you are eating carbohydrates. You basically eat carbohydrates, they get stored in your glycogen stores, and glycogen stores in your muscles. And then when you eat them and you're about to go do a workout, you power up and you have energy to perform that workout. Fats, on the other hand, those are crucial, as I mentioned, for hormone production and overall cell health. And they help you feel satiated, just like protein does too as well. And that can prevent you from overeating. And balancing these macros correctly is the key. That's what we talk about WarriorBabe. We teach women how to go from not understanding, like maybe you guys have no idea what macronutrients are. We meet the client where they're at. We take them on the journey of, okay, cool, you don't know what macronutrients are? Well, you're going to learn what macronutrients are. And we're going to take the time that you work with one of our coaches for you to grasp the understanding of macronutrients and how they effectively work into your plan. And this is where a coach's expertise is freaking invaluable. I can't tell you, when I first started my journey, I had no idea what macronutrients were. And trying to guess and play the guessing game and look online, try all these online calculators and try and figure out this online calculator said something and then the other one said completely different, and then trying to apply that and then not seeing results after 3 weeks, and then trying to change it and adjust the macros, and then understanding how that I need to have protein, enough grams to meet my body weight per day, but then what do the ratios go for carbs and fats? This I cannot explain. Is where a coach's expertise is insanely invaluable. They can help you find the right balance, even if you are following macros right now. If you are, and it made you have the progress that you're experiencing, and then you're trying to lose the last 5 to 10 pounds, and now you're understanding that maybe all of this is happening internally in your body, you may just need a coach to have eyes on where your macronutrients are. Also understand your lifestyle, because that's not the calculators take into account, or your hormonal profile, or anything that may be working against you that we can have a deeper look on at WarriorBabe. And we can give you the right balance that works for you, your body, and your goals. And it's not just about cutting calories. It's about eating the right amount of each macronutrient to fuel your body appropriately. There's so many women inside of WarriorBabe that have not cut calories, that are eating more food than they were when they came in, and are experiencing incredible results. Because coaches have eyes on where they have an objective perspective, essentially. And you guys are so in the thick of it. You're in it day to day. You're doing the work. You're going to the gym. You're trying to eat right, make good decisions. And it can be so hard, like I said, to see the forest for the trees, right? You're looking at, it's like all you see is tree, 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 instead of the forest looking down, like a coach's perspective, and being able to offer insight that maybe you weren't even thinking about. And that's changing up your workout routine. That's changing out your macronutrient protocol, right? Hey, just want to drop a huge appreciation to you guys listening to the show. It means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and there's so much more to come with it. If you are enjoying it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that tons. And also, it would help this podcast reach others who need to hear these messages too. Thanks so much, guys. Let's get back to the show. Anyway, I want to shift gears a little bit here and talk about strength training, because I think that there's a huge misconception. I've definitely talked about this on the podcast before, that losing weight is all about doing more cardio. And that couldn't be any more further from the truth. I think cardio definitely has a place. I don't want to down it entirely, because your heart is a muscle and it definitely needs to be worked. But strength training is incredibly important, especially when it comes to you losing those last few pounds. Building muscle not only shapes your body, but it also boosts your metabolism. And so, as I was talking about earlier, muscle tissue burns more calories at rest compared to fat tissue. This means, as I said, the more muscle that you have, the more muscle mass that you have, the more calories you burn throughout the day, even when you're not working out. And a coach can design a strength training program that maximizes muscle growth and keeps your metabolism revved up. And they can also help you adjust your workouts to prevent overtraining and burnout, which are common things that people run into when trying to lose those stubborn pounds, right? I know like when I used to coach women, women would be in there 7 days a week working out because they had to lose these last 5 to 10 pounds and they couldn't recover well enough. They were like consistently in healing mode and not in recovery mode and not, optimizing their body to be able to go in the next day and crush a workout because they were tired and they were overtrained and they were burnt out. Or, a lot of people get into doing cardio and they feel like they have to do cardio and cardio and cardio to lose those last 5 to 10 pounds. And that's what a lot of, like when I coached women, this is what a lot of women were struggling with, is they were doing more when actually they needed to do less. And having a coach be able to eyeball that and have that objective perspective and be able to look at like what you're doing that isn't working right now and leading you, into, what's Einstein say? He says, insanity is the, what is it? Oh my gosh, it's totally blanking from my brain. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results is a definition of insanity, something along those lines. And if you're doing the same thing over, you're working out 7 days a week, or you're doing more and more cardio, and you're still not getting the results that you want, clearly something needs to be changed. And that's why, that's why working with a coach can have an objective perspective. Like when we talk about strength training, it's not just about lifting heavy weights. It's about lifting with proper form, using the right exercises, and most importantly, progressively challenging your muscles, right? Having a set workout plan for 4 to 6 weeks that you're following. And a lot of people are like, I don't feel like following the same workout plan for 4 to 6 weeks. Well, there's a method to the madness, right? There's science behind why we're scheduling these workouts as we are, or there's specific areas or the right exercises that we want you to be working on, or, you're going from this type of set count to this type of set count, this type of rep count to this type of rep count, this rest period to this rest period, right? This is where a coach can make a huge freaking difference. They can ensure that you're performing exercises correctly to prevent injury, but to maximize effectiveness, and also to understand, to introduce new exercises, new variations, to keep your workouts interesting and challenging. But most importantly, like I said, for you not to do more and just to get more of what you're already getting, which is trying to break out of this 5 to 10 pound difference, but maximize the effectiveness of you doing less, but doing what is the right protocol specifically for you to be doing for your body and for your lifestyle and for where you're at. Like combining this and your nutrition together is what's going to be the game changer to you, to breaking through the plateau and to getting to the next level that you want to get to. I did a podcast on this, specifically 5 to 10 pounds, more so talking to the mindset component of it a while back. And in that podcast, I was like, your goals require next level dedication. Like it requires you to really hone into your workouts. It requires you to really hone into your macros. It requires you to be consistent. But I want to talk about the lifestyle component of this, because the biggest mistake people make is thinking that they need to be 100% perfect all the time. This all or nothing mindset can lead to big burnout and to make the process feel unsustainable and to make it suck and to be not enjoyable. And when you are working with a coach, a good coach will emphasize the importance of balance and consistency over perfection. And I talked about this in other episodes too as well. It's not about doing what I said and going all in and going 100% perfect all of the time, because you're not going to realistically be able to stay in that. But when you work with somebody who understands this perspective and can kind of like, work to balance the mindset that you have, they'll teach you how to incorporate being flexible yet consistent and showing up. Consistency is just like showing up as best as you can in that day. It's like maybe 1 week you aren't doing the same weight that you were doing the previous week, but you still showed up to do that workout, right? Or 1 week, you were drinking 100 ounces of water as opposed to 128 ounces of water, right? But at least you still showed up. You were being consistent. You were consistent with workout. You were consistent with macros. You were consistent with water, whatever it is. But they're going to teach you how to find that balance so you can enjoy your favorite food, so you can enjoy your favorite activities, so you know when to rest without completely derailing your progress. This approach not only makes the journey more enjoyable, but it also helps you to maintain your long-term long-term results, to maintain results long-term, right? So it's not like you're going to go in 100% to do this thing, all or nothing mentality. You have to follow this strict protocol. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent and incorporating the important aspect of balance into your routine. And when you're able to do that, it's a hell of a lot more realistic to your journey and to being able to sustain the long-term results, right? And science backs this up too. If I want to really get down into it, studies have shown that sustainable weight loss is more about creating healthy habits that you can maintain over time rather than following a strict short-term or, exercise plan. A coach can help you develop those habits and integrate them into your life. That is something that a lot of PDF programs or strict do this, don't do that exercise plan or diet doesn't do. They don't help you understand why you are where you are in terms of the weight that you need to lose, how you got there, the habits that you have ingrained into your life, and understanding how you can develop new habits and integrate them into your daily life that are going to support you losing the weight, right? For example, instead of solely focusing on the number of the scale, a coach that you work with might encourage you to track other metrics, right? And they should. How do your clothes fit? How are your energy levels? How are your strength gains? How many pull-ups did you do this week? How many push-ups did you do this week? What are your non-scale victories saying? Because that can be incredibly motivating and can provide more of like a wholesome, holistic approach and view of what your progress is actually supposed to look like rather than just identifying the scale. Maybe you have 5 to 10 pounds to lose and you're just like gung-ho about what that number says on the scale, but you're missing the big picture, and someone can take an objective perspective and help you look at the bigger picture by saying, wow, you may be at 5 pounds, right, to lose, and you may have been stuck there for the last 4 to 6 weeks, but like look at this before picture and this after picture, because there's completely a difference. So all in all, to say with this whole podcast today, it's like there's so many different facets that we can highlight, right? It's like, well, why is this happening to you, right? What is going on with your body when you're at the last few pounds to lose? The homeostasis environment that your body is trying to hold on to so that, those last few pounds look like it's a bit of a reserve so that your body can be like, okay, it kind of looks like it's a threat that I explained it, right? And that's where you can be stuck in a plateau. You can look at it like that. You can understand why this is happening and the science behind it. And then you can understand that this is your body in an adaptation phase and it's adapting to what you've done so far. But now it's like this requires some next level, insight or knowledge or education, which can come from a coach that can provide you the objective perspective on your situation and kind of look in and be like, okay, you've been following this macronutrient protocol. Why don't we just try and make a tweak? And then like the most important thing this comes down to when you're working with a coach is, sure, they can look at the nutrition. They can look at the components of your workout protocol that you're doing. They can look at your lifestyle habits, how busy you are, what is, also down into WarriorBabe, we look at the hormonal profile of clients. We can figure out what's going there too as well. And we can treat that, or we can't treat it, but we can give recommendations to make things better when it comes to nutrition and fitness protocols. But you can look at it like that, right? And you can understand that the coach is going to offer me a perspective that maybe I am just unaware of. I've gotten this far. You should give yourself a pat on the back for getting that far. But now I need someone to hold me a little bit more accountable and, tell me to do this and then me just follow it and allow for the time period for that specific change to take place. And then we adjust as needed to continue on, right? You need to be making the tweaks to your strength training. Or another way to look at it is like, maybe you're somebody that's going 110% on a daily basis and you actually need to do less, not more, but you need somebody to hold you accountable to be doing that, because you're not going to be, I've coached so many people that are like, Nikki, thank you so much, because, I've been working out 7 days a week, but now I'm working out 4 days a week and I'm getting even better results than I was getting when I was working out 7 days a week. And that's because you're not going to change. Like, let's just be real. Like, if you're doing that and you find that you love doing that, but it's not getting you to where you want to be, that's a hard behavior to change without having somebody who has an objective perspective on the situation and the knowledge and the expertise to get you to make that change. You're not going to do it alone. You need somebody to help you do it, right? And then just understanding the progress aspect of tracking. Are you someone that steps on the scale every single day but misses a big detail like progress photos? Like you're someone that sees the scale fluctuating 5 to 10 pounds, but you could actually be getting leaner and more defined. But because muscle is more dense than fat is, it means that muscle is taking up less space than fat is, but it's more dense, so it's going to weigh the same. Like a pound of fat and a pound of muscle weigh the same. It's just the muscle takes up significantly less space. But if you step on the scale isn't going to tell you that. So if you're obsessed with seeing a fluctuating number of 5 to 10 pounds, but you don't look at, your actual physical body composition that's telling you a bigger and better story, then you need somebody to hold you to, being required to take progress photos so that you can see the change happening. There's so many different facets of how a coach can really help you, if you're struggling to lose the last 5 to 10 pounds, right? It depends on where you're at in your journey, what approach, what objective perspective needs to come into your life from a coach, whether it be all of those points that I said today or just one of them or a few of them. Whatever it is, if you're struggling to lose those last few pounds, consider investing in a coach. And if you're considering to invest in a coach, check out WarriorBabe, because we have 65 plus amazing coaches on our team that are in an array of different expertise that can help you along your journey. They're all nutrition certified, strength training certified, and then all of the other certifications that they have under their belt. I'm not going to list them all, but you can check them out on WarriorBabe.com/VIP. And that goes into all of the bios of our coaches. They can provide the expertise, the support, and the accountability that you need to break through any plateau that you are experiencing to achieve your goals. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's just about making progress and finding a balance that works for you. Whatever it may be, whatever facet I talked about, you understanding why it's happening and then understanding adaptive process is taking place. And you just need accountability to go through your body adapting and maybe adjusting a few things, or the mindset side of it, or consistency, or whatever it may be. Not going too hard and going less. You guys know what I'm talking about, okay? So if that's you, check out WarriorBabe in the description below. And what I always say on this podcast, right? It's like you won't experience any type of change until you take control and you do the necessary actions that you need to do in order to make a change. So if you are somebody that's not stuck at the 5 to 10 pound marker and you're not doing anything about it, then I would consider making a change and figuring out how to do something about it. I always say on this podcast, so many of you guys listen to it, and some of you guys have gotten incredible results. I've shared some success stories in recent podcasts, but those people took action, right? They didn't listen to me until they were blue in the ear. They actually did something about it. So go do something about it. And until next time, guys, keep pushing, stay consistent, and remember that you have the power to transform your body and your life. It is in your control. I'll see you in the next podcast. Peace out. Hey guys, real quick. If you're interested in taking your body to the next level, lose body fat, build more muscle, feel more confident, do it alongside one of our 30 plus professional coaches. Work one-on-one with her to eliminate all of the guesswork that you may have. And all you need to do is just do the work that she tells you to do to get to those goals of yours. Now, to learn more, click the link below this podcast and apply to our VIP program right now.